Morning, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday sermon. This week, we are honored with the presence of the spirit of the Reverend Martin Luther King. He's been with us many times before, and he always has great messages for us. If you're watching on YouTube, would you be kind enough to please subscribe and give us a like? It helps greatly in us reaching others. And that is really what we do this whole thing about, is reaching people with these great messages. So, Dr. King, let's begin. Indeed. Thank you so much for everybody allowing me to come through once more. I truly appreciate the opportunity to speak. I always enjoyed being able to speak to the people. I loved the people. I enjoyed being with them. You see, people's what it's all about. If you love people and you're good to them, then they will do good things to you. I wish that I would have had more time. I had no control over that bullet that killed me. But I did what I could do before. I knew that what I was doing was very dangerous. I knew I was making enemies. You see, there were many people looked down at people of color. They did not want them to have equal rights. It took a long time for people that were different from Caucasian or white people to gain the rights that they did. But we did it peacefully. And that is really the point of what I'd like to make today. Today, we're seeing people that have no understanding of doing peaceful things in order to obtain what they want. Today, we see people that have no problems with showing violence, disrupting parades, throwing paint on valuable objects, destroying monuments. They have no conscience when it comes to getting along with others. All they want is what they think is right, what they think they believe in. You see, many people believe in many things. Many people believe in a green economy. And yes, there are many things that humans need to do to help preserve the planet. But destroying things does not help in saving the planet. Common sense. Do you really think that if you tear apart and destroy a monument or throw paint upon the Constitution, that you're going to draw the attention that you want to draw? Violence is a terrible thing. I can tell you about how it ends your life. Do things peacefully. Build up a discussion and talk to others. Talk to people that can control things. Violence is never, ever the answer. You can see that in war. Terrible things are taking place today. Innocent people are being killed. Soldiers are dying at a rate of 1 a minute in Ukraine. It's hard to believe. Violence has been around since the beginning of humanity. So it's going to be very difficult to break the pattern that humans have known for all these thousands of years. The strong have always taken from the weak, and that's a terrible thing, because the weak then grow weaker and they're suffering more. And it's not just in war. Look around at the political leaders of the world today. They take from the weak, from the people that have to pay the taxes, from the people that are forced to be conscripted into the armies. The strong always seem to want to take advantage of the weak. But you will know when that people are listening to God's words, when you will see the strong caring for the weak. That's not happening now. Oh, there's some great people out there. There are people that are helping. There are people that are doing what they can for others. And you see, those are God's children. When you're doing what God wants, he thinks of you as one of his children. He thinks of everyone as his children, but as in human lives, there are some children that are better than others. Some children serve, and some children don't do so well. Some children turn to drugs, turn to violence, turn to stealing from others. They think that they're getting away with something, but they aren't. You see, everything that you watch, everything that you do, how you treat others, that is being watched by others on the other side, in the other dimension of heaven. You hear Laura and Barry and Connie speak all the time of spirit guides, and that is very accurate. Every individual has guides that will help them. Sometimes it's family members that have passed. Sometimes it's souls that they never thought of. And sometimes it's just simply souls on this side that want to try to help humans. Help is a magical word. Help is the key to many things. Actually, help is the key to your happiness. When you learn how to help others, then you will know what happiness is. How many of you have had people tell you that your actions have changed their lives? I've had many people tell me that. And my actions did change many, many lives and had good results in the long run. While my preachings were taking place, we were not greeted happily by many people. Many individuals thought that if your skin color is different, you should be treated differently. Many people thought that if you spoke a different language, you should be treated differently. But I can guarantee you this: when you're in the dimension of heaven, there are no differences of anything. Everyone is equal. Now, you are equal, but how you live your lives determine where you are in heaven. So when it comes to how you live their lives, really, there is not a term of equality when you return, because you're judged for what you do. Heaven is not a socialist economy. In heaven, there are realms, and you have to earn access to those realms. In a democracy, you have to earn what you get. In many ways, a democracy is similar to heaven. In many ways, it's obviously different. But if you look at the keys, if you look at how you obtain access to the realms, the higher realms where you truly want to be, it is similar to a democracy. If you work hard, you can obtain much in a human life. If you serve God, you can gain much in your afterlife. So you see where I'm getting to the point here? I want you to work hard in your lives, serve your family, help others. And by doing so, you serve God and you gain access to the levels that you would love to be in when you return to heaven. Our demonstrations, even though peaceful, were met with much violence. Violence seems to be the key to many people's thinking. If you differ, show violence towards them. The demonstrations I was referring to earlier today are much like that, but the demonstrators are the ones showing the violence, and they will find that they are not going to be successful. When you show violence, there's no way that people are going to cooperate with what you think or believe you're right. Oh, you'll gain attention. There's no doubt about that. But that attention that you gain is not the kind that you want. Demonstrate peacefully. Get the attention of those in power peacefully. Do not get their attention by destroying their offices. For some reason, that doesn't work very well. If you build animosities, then those animosities will have a terrible result on what you're trying to do. I want you to listen closely to the words of God. He speaks to you every Wednesday, and these messages are beyond belief. Each Wednesday is a miracle for you. You're actually hearing the words of God, the words in the form of Jesus, but he was God incarnate. And when you hear from Jesus, you are truly hearing God's words. Do what you can to spread them, because you will be helping others by doing it. There are many in this world today that need a lot of help. The economies of the world are not what they should be. Leaders are destroying the economies of countries to fight wars. Right now, the world is in turmoil. Many countries have the ability to use weapons of mass destruction. That is truly sad because many of the leaders are totally incompetent. All they care about is their self-power. And there may actually be one out there that is delusional enough to believe that he can get away with using a weapon of mass destruction and not face mass destruction himself. There is no equality in using weapons of mass destruction. You will bring around your own destruction. But that's what you're doing on your own when you're not serving God. You're bringing about your own destruction. You see, your soul is going to leave that body in which you're in. I found out the hard way. I wasn't expecting it at the time. But when my soul left the body, I entered this incredible place. And all of these wonderful people were there to welcome me home. When your soul is in your body, it's not home. It's in a temporary residence. You are only renting that body, and there will be a time that your lease runs out. When it does, you want to be ready to face those that know what you have been doing in your life. You will not be able to have an excuse. You will not be able to lie. You will be there before your guides, and they will point out things to you. And they will say, "Why did you do this?" And you have to answer. So before you harm someone, think about it. This is not a free pass. You do not get the ability to harm others. You are sent back with one person, with one purpose. You are sent back to serve God. Many don't. Many don't even understand that God exists. And many feel that God definitely does not exist. Those are the top level of fools. Some are the most wealthy people in the world, but that does not make them anything but a fool. They're just simply a wealthy fool. There are those that are almost penniless, but totally understand God. They know how he thinks, they know what he wants of you, and they try to serve him, even they do not have the financial ability to do it. You see, those people rate so much higher, are held in so much higher esteem in heaven than the wealthy fools. Living a human life is very difficult. God has made it difficult to be a human. He has given you tests every day of your life. But what he wants you to do is each day face as the beginning of a new life. When you get up in the morning, Think about how you can help someone. Do you know someone in a senior living facility that's very, very lonely and feels no one loves them? Go visit them. People volunteer all the time to help serve and just simply talk to people in senior living facilities. You can read to them. You can just simply talk to them and let you know that somebody still cares enough to go there and visit. You can tell them of your knowledge of the afterlife, of God. Tell them that they are children of God and that the day of passing will be the most magnificent day of their life. It was for me. I had many good days. I had many days that I had served God, and I was very happy because of it. But on that day that my life was taken, it was an incredible thing. I got to see heaven. I had preached about it, but I had no idea how great it was. I had talked about the wonders of this place, but now I was actually back in it. My family members were there, many people that had gone before me, famous people, people that I had heard about, but only dreamed about meeting, were there to welcome me. And then the most wonderful thing that took place. Jesus came forth and gave me a hug. And I cannot tell you how wonderful that was. You see, when you serve God, there are so many benefits. But when you don't serve God, there are none. Oh, you'll go to heaven and you will be relegated to a realm that you won't enjoy. And it's still going to be a great place. It's going to be better than all the suffering that you have as a human. But you will look at those who are in the upper realms and you will say, why did I bring this upon me? Because your actions are what bring you to the realm in which you deserve to be placed. Your actions have consequences. Everything that you do, every moment of your life, there are consequences for it. But if you're serving God and following his words, there are benefits for it. You can make every moment of every day that you have remaining in this life beneficial for your return. The past is in the past. Do not dwell upon it. You made mistakes. We all did. I made many mistakes. There were times that I did things I should not have done, and I will admit this. And there are times that all of you did things that you should not have done, and you should admit it to yourself. You don't have to tell others about it, but admit it to yourself and decide that from this time forward, you are only going to do what God wants you to do. You are going to spread his words. You're going to speak to people of the one God, however and by what name you want to refer to him. You may call him the source, the spirit, Allah, anything that you wish, as long as you follow the ideas of his teachings. You see, he sent all the great followers back. He sent all of the great prophets, the teachers, those that brought you the words that you are supposed to follow. Muhammad, Billy Graham, myself, Barry and Connie. He sent all of these people back to bring you messages. Some messages are more difficult to deliver than others. But there is but one intent. The intent is that the words of God should reach as many people as possible. I tried and was successful in my life. I did things that brought the words of God as I understood them and many of the words that I spoke were not truly accurate, as I found out. But I did my best. The Bible for me was the basis that I used, and I taught from it. Today, you have many sources of words of God. You can listen to all of the messages that Barry and Connie bring forth to you, and you can understand truly what he wants. You can read his books. He put the words of God in books. He tells the stories of truth. What he has said is things that are not distorted by the years. They are the words, the modern words of God and his modern teachings. So I thank you so much for allowing me to come forth. We don't get this chance as much as we should, I guess, but there's not many opportunities. Not many can speak the words of spirits. Many cannot speak them as clearly as you are hearing them. Do what you can to spread these words. They will never lead you astray. So goodbye. I know God is blessing all of you that listen to them. That is a great benefit of being here. Thank you, and hopefully I will be able to return once more. He always has a great message, folks. It astounds me how these spirits can give basically the same message in so many different ways, and especially so effectively. So thank you so much. Please tell your friends about us. I'd love to reach more people, but it's very difficult. I wish I knew how. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you much for being the people who you are. Goodbye, and we will return again next week.